I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. This is 2 Peter's chapter 1 and verse 20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. And this is a little series that I'm going to do called Private Interpretation. All right. And going into Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse 1 and 2. All right. Which is a prophecy. And the private interpretation is that the strangers that's referred to in verse 1 is talking about Israelites. Okay. And I'm going to show you through the precepts. All right. And within context, line upon line, that this is referring to heathens, man. All right. Those strangers in verse 1 is referring to heathens. Okay. And here we go. Let's get into it. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. And we all in agreements, all right, that Israel, the Lord is only coming back to deliver the Israelites, the elect of Israel. All right, reading on, and set them in their own land. Now, this is where correction have to come in, because you have some guys within Israel that you have to leave wherever you at and go to Jerusalem, go to Israel, to the land of Israel, to be saved or to gain spiritual power, which that stands a correction, because the scripture reads, the Lord will set the Israelites in their land. Okay. Read on, and the strangers shall be joined with them. And this is the main point. All right. The strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right. Now, read on verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, referring to those strangers, in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. All right. Now I ask the question, if these strangers are referring to Israelites, why are they being possessed in the kingdom as servants and handmaids? Okay. That's ludicrous. And that's a private interpretation. That's what you call private interpretation. Read on. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were. Now, this is referring to the nation of Edom right here. All right. As we know, we're presently in captivity under the Edomites. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay. Which Edom is the oppressors that's oppressing the Israelites. Okay. Now, let's go back to the top, and we're going to read it and get the precepts. All right. And show you through the precepts that these strangers are referring to the other nations. So it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now let's get a precept here. In the book of Zechariah, chapter 8 and verse 22. And it reads, yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem. Now, this is referring to heathens. Okay, this is referring to the other nations. This is not referring to Israelites. And to pray before the Lord. Verse 23. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the power is with you. And this is why they're going to cleave to us, man. Order is going to be established in the earth, man. Okay, the same way that we cleave to the so-called white man now. All right, the same way. Okay, so going back to Revelations 14 and 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Israel, on Jacob, and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. So if the Lord going to set the Israelites in their own land, Zechariah 8 and 22 said many nations are going to come, all right, to seek the Lord, man. Okay, why? Because the power is with us, man. Order is going to be established, and the strangers shall be joined with them. All right, the other nations, those many people and strong nations. All right, those are the strangers. All right, and shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Let's get another precept. We're going to stay in the book of Isaiah, chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Okay, that's called order being established in the earth. Okay, and that's why these other nations, these strangers that's referred to in Isaiah 14 and 1, are going to cleave unto the house of Israel, because order is going to be established. Okay, verse 3, and many people shall go, just like we read in Zechariah 8 and 22. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the government of the Lord. That word mountain, all right, refers to the elect, man. All right, the government of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob. All right, this is why they're going to cleave to the Israelites, man. All right, and he will teach us of his ways. All right, the elect is going to teach the heathens, all right, of the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, establishing order in the earth. All right, and we shall walk in his path. All right, so the heathens are going to walk in the path of the Lord. All right, they're going to follow the Israelites, man. They're going to be taught and be governed by the Israelites, man. All right, just like we're governed by the so-called white man. All right, the nation of Edom. So we have to cleave unto these people. All right, as servants and as handmaids. All right, we get up and go to work every day as servants. Okay, we cleave unto these to our oppressors, to our captives. All right, why? Because they're established, all right, in the earth. All right, it's having rulership, man. All right, but when the Lord kingdom gets set up, all right, in that day, all right, the Israelites are going to be set up, and the other nations are going to have to cleave unto the nation of Israel and be our servants. All right, and learn of our ways. All right, learning the ways of the Lord. All right, and he would teach us of his ways, and we, talking about the heathens, man, will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, man. All right, and let's sit on that. Let's go back. Now let's read Isaiah 14 and 1 again without any private interpretations. All right. Remember Zechariah 8, 22 and 23. All right. We just read Isaiah chapter 2. All right. Referring to the heathens. All right. Walking in the ways of the Lord, being joined until the Israelites, man. Being governed by the Israelites. All right. When order is established in the earth. So Now let's read it with understanding. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them." Now we know what the strangers are referring to. All right. The other nations are not Israelites. Why? Because when you read line upon line, you'll see. "And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them," referring to the strangers, "and bring them," referring to the strangers, "to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and for handmaids. And they," talking about the Israelites now, "shall take them." All right. Now this is a different them. Captive, who captives they were. This is specifically talking about the nation of Edom. All right. This is who we're currently under captivity under. "And shall rule over their oppressors." All right. And we're currently being oppressed by the nation of Edom. All right. And we're going to rule them. All right. We're going to rule them. All right. They're not going to have the luxury of coming to the land of the Lord. All right. Learning the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They're going to be taken by force. All right. They're going to be taken by force into captivity. Okay. So this is the proper understanding to this prophecy. All right. Without any private interpretation, line upon line, precept upon precept. And I hope you brothers was edified. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.